We're, we're so fucked. We're so screwed, guys. That's the only thing. Don't even watch the video. We're fucked. There's nothing we can do about it, and it's all because men are not more like women. Men don't want to get pregnant enough. That's what Nobel Prize winning economist Claudia Goldin is telling us. Folks, as always, welcome to the Modern Survivalist channel. If you want to get ready for all of this that's coming, that's already here, you have the channel with a ton of information. I always recommend my books as well. You have Street Survival Skills as well as Surviving the Economic Collapse. Very relevant given the topic in today's video. Yeah, sure. You have them in Amazon, in the links there below. Audiobooks, French version, Spanish version, and so on. Yeah. And thanks for all of you guys that actually leave a review on Amazon. That's much appreciated too. Fuck. We're so screwed. We're so screwed. We keep on doing this bullshit game of blaming men for everything. Now men are to blame for women not wanting to have kids, being empowered, right? That's all there is to it. The fertility crash comes down to what men are doing or not doing, Nobel laureate says. So what happened? What the fuck happened to us? Why are we like this now? Why is it that a Nobel Prize winner is some crazy ass Karen that somehow believes that this is all because of men? The blame of all of this is men. Really, this is the people we have winning Nobel Prizes now. I'm not even kidding. This is what she says. Countries with low fertility exhibit a key difference from those with even lower birth rates, according to Nobel Prize winning economist Claudia Goldin, who pointed to the extra hours women spend on child rearing and household chores compared to men. What the fuck is that have to do with anything? What kind of correlation did you manage to find here? What kind of bullshit is this? You honestly want to make us believe that it's because men don't help enough around the house that women are choosing to not have kids? Maybe it's because of all the brainwashing that has been going on for decades. Maybe it's because of those 60s videos from the United States where women are taught to give babies formula instead of breastfeeding like actual human beings are supposed to. Maybe it's because of all of the Sex in the City nonsense where they glorify being a fucking drunk 50-year-old single woman with no kids. Maybe it's because of that, right? No. I mean, she did win a Nobel Prize, so she has to know what she's talking about, right? Yeah, sure she does, yeah. While numerous policies and financial incentives have been employed, few have been proven reliable to boost fertility. Yeah, yet a great way to raise taxes, right, with that excuse. But a new study from Nobel Prize winning economist Claudia Karen points to the extra hours of women spend on child rearing and household chores compared with men. She found that the major difference between countries with low fertility and those with even low. So it's so low. None of this actually helps in any way. In Sweden, for example, women spend just 0.8 hours more than men each day around the house. And the country fertility rate is 1.7 kids per family. And in Denmark, where women work 0.9 hours extra, the fertility rate is also 1.7. To be sure, both rates are below the so-called replacement rate. Who wrote this shit? Jason Meh. All right. So-called, it's not a so-called, it is 2, and yeah, ideally 2.1, so as to kind of sustain. It is simple. You need 2 babies being born per woman because men don't have babies. Men can actually make a baby with a woman, but the actual pregnancy process is going to be on a woman. So you need each woman to have 2 kids because you need to compensate for the man that is not going to get pregnant no matter what bullshit they tell you, which is needed for a country to maintain a stable population. But they exceed countries with even lower fertility. In South Korea, where the fertility rate is 0.9 kids, women put in 2.8 hours more than men on their home and family each day. And Italy, where the fertility rate is 1.7, women spend 2.9 extra hours. So she chooses to focus on this completely unrelated piece of data that means really nothing, that has a more traditional role in terms of who does the chores around the house, that's your bullshit excuse. You don't even mention the key difference, which is that in these countries, they are really investing in making sure that the population is convinced that women should have babies, that there should be more kids. They don't even, this Nobel winning person, Claudia, does not even mention that in those countries, it's not just the difference between men and women in the amount of household chores, but also in the amount of hours that employers give women and men to have children, which is they have like a year off. That's why you see more kids, not because of who's doing the dishes. You fucking useless Karen. Jesus Christ, it does piss me off because we have a real problem with all of this. There's some evidence that individual men believe in couple equity more than they act on it because they believe other people don't feel this way. When you have rapid growth, then you don't give generations enough time to get used to modernity. Oh, modernity. You thrust them into modernity, says Karen Goldin. With her paper, while her paper doesn't advocate for a particular policy solution, she told the Post that U.S. lawmakers could provide government-subsidized childcare, saying that more critical... Oh, well, actually, that is what it's really more about in terms of how much support do you have to actually have children? How much is it that women are rewarded for having children instead of being punished? And instead of focusing on government subsidized childcare, how about having policies of actually making sure that women that have kids don't feel ostracized, don't feel separated from what women are supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing? Anyway, this is all pointless because at this point you will not get women to have more kids. You will not convince men that it's even worth having more kids, dealing with divorces, dealing with lawyers, and the U.S. government stripping you and fleecing you and skinning you alive in the legal system if the woman chooses to do so. Anyway, very upsetting to see that this is what we have become, but it is what it is. Not much we can do about it, can we? We can do something about it on our own personal lives, on our own level, having kids, having families. It is by far the best thing a human being can do. It is by far the most rewarding. It's not just me saying it. It is people that have been some of the most successful people in this planet. And I'm not comparing success with making a lot of money. But even people that do make a shit ton of money, they will tell you the same thing. The most valuable thing I have is my family, my kids. Folks, see you next time. Take care.